What if I told you that no matter how chaotic your surroundings become, no matter the pressure, stress, or uncertainty you face, you possess the innate ability to remain calm, centered, and unshakable? What if that sense of calm wasn't just a fleeting reaction, but a skill? A skill that you could consciously practice, sharpen, and ultimately master. Most people live as prisoners of their emotions. They react to life instead of actively creating it. But the truth is, your mind is the most powerful tool you own. When you learn to direct your mind, you master the way you feel and experience the world. Today, I want to take you on a journey. A journey to rewire your mind, to break free from old emotional patterns, and to train yourself to maintain composure in any situation. Because when you master your mind, you master your life. The mind is the most powerful key that determines how you perceive and interact with reality. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, and every reaction you have is a direct result of the mental programming you've accumulated over the years. Most people exist in a state of unconscious reaction, allowing their external circumstances to dictate their internal feelings. They wake up, check their phone, scroll through the news, read a text, and immediately, their mood is pulled in the direction of what they see. If it's positive, they feel good. If it's negative, they become worried, irritated, or stressed. This cycle repeats day after day, reinforcing negative emotional habits and keeping them trapped in a reactive state. But what if you could break that cycle? What if, instead of reacting to the world, you could condition your mind to create a feeling of calm no matter what happens? The truth is, your mind doesn't just observe reality. It plays an active role in creating it. The way you think determines the emotions you experience, and those emotions, in turn, shape your actions and habits. Over time, these repeated thoughts and feelings become hardwired neurological pathways in your brain, forming your subconscious habits. If you've spent years responding to stress with anxiety, frustration, or fear, your brain has been conditioned to default to those emotions. This is why change feels so difficult for so many people. They might say, "I want to be calmer," but their subconscious is still running the old program, the program of worry and negative reaction. The good news is that just as the brain can be programmed for stress, it can be reprogrammed for calm. Thanks to neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to change and adapt, you can forge new pathways. Through conscious and repeated practice, you can create new neural networks that support a state of tranquility and balance. The key is to become conscious of your thoughts and feelings, rather than letting them run you on autopilot. When you do this, you not only break free from the reactive state but begin to create a more powerful, sovereign, and liberated version of yourself. The majority of people are living in a state of survival, constantly reacting to the external world. Their nervous system is perpetually in a fight or flight mode, always scanning the environment for potential danger. This response was vital for our ancestors, who had to be ready to face predators or real physical threats. Today, however, most of the threats we face are not physical dangers. They are psychological pressures, traffic jams, work deadlines, relationship conflicts, financial stress. Your body doesn't distinguish between a real threat and a perceived one, so it triggers the same stress response. Over time, this chronic stress reprograms the brain to look for problems, keeping you in a constant state of tension. To break free from this loop, the first step is awareness. You must become the observer of your thoughts rather than being imprisoned by them. The moment you feel stress rising, pause. Identify the thought that triggered that feeling. Ask yourself, is this thought serving me? Is this reaction necessary? The more you practice observing your thoughts instead of identifying with them, the more you create the power to choose your response consciously. Instead of an automatic reaction, you create a space between stimulus and response, a space where you can choose calm and self-control. Emotions are not just vague feelings, they are biochemical realities. When you're stressed, your body releases cortisol and adrenaline, causing your heart rate and blood pressure to spike. Conversely, when you're calm, your body produces serotonin and oxytocin, which create feelings of well-being and peace. The more time you spend in a state of calm, the more your body learns that this is its natural state. Your nervous system shifts from fight or flight to a rest and restore mode, allowing your brain and body to function optimally. This transformation requires repetition. Just as a muscle gets stronger with exercise, the ability to remain calm is strengthened through consistent practice. It all starts with small moments. Choosing to take a deep breath instead of reacting with anger. Choosing to reframe a stressful situation instead of getting swept away by it. Choosing to focus on what you can control instead of worrying about what you can't. Over time, these small choices accumulate, forming a new mental state that becomes your natural default. Another key element in this mental training is the power of visualization. Your brain does not distinguish between a real experience and one that is vividly imagined. When you mentally rehearse staying calm in a challenging situation, your brain wires itself as if you've actually done it. With each visualization, you are building and reinforcing new neural pathways, preparing yourself to respond with greater calm when faced with real-life situations. Professional athletes use this technique to enhance their performance, and you can absolutely use it to reprogram your mind for unwavering calm. Every morning, take a few minutes to visualize yourself handling pressure with ease. See yourself navigating challenges with confidence and serenity. The more you practice, the more your brain accepts this as your new normal, gradually making calmness your most natural response in any situation. Furthermore, meditation is an incredibly powerful tool for restructuring the mind. When you meditate, you enter a state of deep, focused silence, allowing your brain to shift into slower brainwave states. In these states, your subconscious mind becomes more accessible, making it easier to change old patterns. Just a few minutes of meditation each day is enough to strengthen the neural networks associated with calmness and emotional resilience. Your environment also plays a crucial role in shaping your mental state. If you constantly expose yourself to negative inputs, like distressing news, toxic social media, or people who complain constantly, your brain learns to expect and anticipate stress as the norm. Conversely, when you consciously choose to consume positive content, engage in uplifting relationships, and create a peaceful space for yourself, you are continually reinforcing the neural pathways of peace and happiness. What you feed your mind is just as important as what you feed your body. The journey of training your mind to stay calm in all situations is truly a shift from unconscious reaction to conscious creation. It's the process of reclaiming control from old patterns and actively deciding how you want to experience life. Most people go through life on autopilot, reacting without even realizing it. They easily fall into states of stress, anger, anxiety, or disappointment simply because of external triggers. Over time, these reactions become deeply ingrained habits, etched into the subconscious. The problem is, when you repeatedly react to stress in a certain way, your brain becomes hardwired to make that reaction the default, whether you're conscious of it or not. Your body then immediately triggers the same biochemical cascade, releasing stress hormones and further reinforcing the old emotional pattern, keeping you stuck in the loop. This happens because of the natural design of the brain and nervous system. When you encounter a situation that the brain perceives as a threat, the amygdala, the part of the brain responsible for threat detection, instantly signals the body to react. Your heart rate increases, muscles tense, and your focus narrows, all in preparation for a survival response. This mechanism saved our ancestors from real dangers. But in the modern world, most stressors are not life-threatening. They are inconveniences, disagreements, or challenges that require calm, considered thought, not a panicked, impulsive reaction. When you understand this, you begin to see that every moment is an opportunity to choose again, to break free from old reactions and create a new experience, an experience of self-mastery, stability, and profound peace. However, because the brain doesn't differentiate between a real threat and one imagined by the mind, it still activates the same fight or flight response. Over time, these repeated reactions become deeply embedded in the subconscious, becoming default patterns. If you always react to criticism with anger, your brain will form neural pathways that make that response automatic, almost thoughtless. If you frequently face uncertainty with anxiety, your brain will strengthen that connection and see it as part of your identity. This is precisely why changing emotional reactions is so challenging. You aren't just dealing with a single stressful moment. You're confronting years of conditioning, years in which your body and mind have learned to respond in a specific, well-worn way. To break this habit of emotional reaction, the very first step is to become aware of it. Most people identify with their emotions so completely that they don't realize they have the power to change them. They often say, "This is just who I am," or "I can't help how I feel." But the truth is, they absolutely can change. The first step is developing self-awareness. Start paying attention to your emotional triggers. Notice when stress begins to rise, when anger takes over, or when anxiety starts to creep in. Ask yourself, what just triggered this emotion? Where do I feel it in my body? Is this reaction truly necessary, or is it just an old habit? The more you can observe these emotional patterns, the more power you have to change them. Once you're aware of your reactive emotions, the next step is to interrupt the pattern. Instead of letting the emotion take the driver's seat, pause. Take a deep breath and create a space between the trigger and your response. It is in that space that transformation begins. When you pause before reacting, you give yourself the chance to choose a different response. Instead of exploding in anger, you can choose to remain calm. Instead of sinking into endless worry, you can choose to focus on the present moment. Instead of freezing in frustration, you can choose to approach the problem with clarity and insight. The more you practice this, the more your brain is rewired to respond in new, more powerful, and positive ways. Emotions aren't just in your mind, they are specific biological responses. When you feel stressed, your body releases cortisol and adrenaline. When you're calm, it produces serotonin and oxytocin. This means that every time you choose a different reaction, you are changing the chemistry inside your body. The more you reinforce calmness and control, the more your brain and body learn that this is the new natural state. Gradually, old emotional reactions will weaken, giving way to healthier, more natural responses, helping you become a freer and more resilient version of yourself. Another powerful tool for breaking the habit of emotional reaction is the ability to reframe your perception. Most of our emotional responses stem from how we interpret events. If you view a situation as a threat, your body will immediately react with stress. But if you see it as a challenge or an opportunity, your body will shift into a state of focus and readiness. The way you interpret an event determines the emotion you experience. Start by questioning your automatic interpretations. Instead of immediately jumping to the worst-case scenario, ask, is there another way to look at this situation? What if this is actually an opportunity for me to grow? Is this challenge training me to become stronger? When you change your perspective, you simultaneously change your emotional response. An equally important method is regulating your breath. How you breathe directly affects your nervous system. Short, shallow breathing activates the stress response, while slow, deep breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, helping the body and mind return to a state of peace. Whenever you feel an emotion rising, just stop and take a deep breath in through your nose, hold it for a few seconds, and then slowly exhale. This simple practice sends a signal to your brain that you are safe, helping you regain control over your emotions in that very moment. Your surrounding environment also plays a significant role in shaping your emotional reactions. If you are constantly surrounded by negativity, conflict, or pressure, your brain will be programmed to expect and react to those states of stress. Conversely, when you actively create a peaceful, positive, and mindful environment, your brain learns to respond with calmness and stability. This requires you to be more conscious of what you consume daily. Limit negative news, choose supportive relationships, and build habits that nurture your inner balance. Breaking the habit of emotional reaction doesn't mean you suppress or deny your emotions. It means learning to master them. It's the process of training yourself to feel an emotion without being swept away or controlled by it. It is the journey from unconscious reaction to conscious response. It is the process of reprogramming your brain, transforming your thinking, and developing the ability to remain calm and steadfast in all situations. The external world is merely a mirror reflecting your internal state. How you react to situations, the emotions you carry, and the thoughts you entertain are the factors that shape your reality more powerfully than you might think. Most people believe that their circumstances determine their feelings. But the truth is, it's their perception of the circumstances that determines their feelings. The problem is that most have been conditioned long ago to react impulsively to the world around them. They let external events control their internal state, unconsciously giving away their power. When something unexpected happens, they immediately feel stressed, frustrated, or anxious. When someone says something they don't like, they instantly feel offended or disrespected. These reactions happen automatically because they've been etched into the subconscious. The subconscious is like a massive recording that holds all the experiences, beliefs, and emotional patterns you've absorbed since childhood. From a young age, you observed how adults spoke, how they solved problems, and how they reacted to stress. Gradually, those patterns were stored away. Over the years, they became your default reactions, the way of thinking and living that you mistake for your true self. But when you understand this mechanism, you can begin the journey of reclaiming your autonomy, instead of continuing to live like an automatic machine reacting to life's every turn. If you grew up in an environment where people were always worried about the future, your subconscious learned to associate uncertainty with anxiety. If you witnessed others react to challenges with anger or disappointment, your mind gradually programmed itself to see obstacles as threats. These patterns operate beneath the surface of your conscious awareness, so much so that you don't even realize they are silently directing your decisions, reactions, and feelings. To reclaim control over your internal state, you must first become aware of these unconscious patterns. The next time you feel triggered by a situation, pause and observe your own reaction. Ask yourself, where is this reaction coming from? Is this truly how I want to respond, or is it just an old habit replaying itself? The simple act of observing your emotions instead of being swept away by them begins to weaken their power over you. Most people live in a state of constant reaction, letting their emotions lead the way. But the moment you start to observe your reactions, you create a space between yourself and the emotion. It is in that space that transformation begins to blossom. Once you've recognized your unconscious emotional patterns, the next step is to reclaim authority over your internal state. This means you learn to regulate your own feelings. Regardless of what's happening in the external world, instead of letting your mind get swept up in the chaos, you develop the ability to remain calm, stable, and in control. One of the most effective ways to do this is by shifting your focus. When you fixate on what's wrong, what could go wrong, or what's beyond your control, your mind naturally creates stress, fear, and frustration. But when you consciously direct your attention to what you can control, to solutions instead of problems, to opportunities instead of limitations, your internal state begins to shift. Your emotions always follow your focus. Another powerful method for mastering your internal state is to regulate your breath. The way you breathe has a direct impact on your nervous system. When you breathe quickly and shallowly, your body interprets it as a sign of danger, immediately activating stress hormones. But when you breathe slowly and deeply, your body receives the signal that you are safe, activating the parasympathetic nervous system, which calms the mind and body. The next time you feel overwhelmed, Try inhaling deeply through your nose, holding your breath for a few seconds, and then slowly exhaling through your mouth. Repeat this several times and notice how your internal state gradually begins to change. Your internal dialogue also plays a critically important role in shaping your emotions. Most people have an inner voice that constantly reinforces negative beliefs, telling them they're not good enough, that they should be worried, or that they should be angry. This voice often reflects the old programming they absorbed from the past. The good news is, you can absolutely change it. Start paying attention to that inner talk. When you notice negative self-talk, stop it. Instead, build a new narrative. Instead of saying, "I can't handle this," tell yourself, "I am capable and in control of this situation." Instead of saying, "This is so stressful," say, "I choose to remain calm and focused." Your mind will believe what you tell it repeatedly. When you change your internal dialogue, you are directly changing your emotional state, step by step, creating a new, more confident, and resilient you. Visualization is another incredibly powerful tool for mastering your inner world. Your brain doesn't distinguish between a real experience and an experience that you vividly imagine. This is why athletes, performers, and other high achievers use visualization to mentally prepare for success. When you consistently visualize yourself responding with calm, clarity, and confidence in difficult situations, your brain gradually rewires itself to make that response natural. Every morning, take a few minutes to imagine yourself handling stressful situations with grace. See yourself maintaining your composure no matter the pressure, responding with wisdom instead of impulse, and always maintaining a sense of control no matter how chaotic the world around you gets. The more you practice, the more your brain reinforces this as your new default state. The outside world will always be uncertain. There will always be challenges, difficult people, and unexpected situations. But when you learn to control your internal state, you no longer need the world around you to be perfect to feel at peace. Instead of reacting impulsively to every change, you develop the ability to respond with intention. Instead of letting circumstances dictate your emotions, you become the master of your mind. It's this shift in perspective that creates the clear distinction between those who are always overwhelmed by life and those who can navigate it with strength, clarity, and peace. Most people live in a state of emotional reaction, constantly swayed by external circumstances. They let events, other people's opinions, and even minor inconveniences send their mood on a roller coaster. When things don't go their way, they immediately get frustrated. When someone says something they dislike, they become defensive or angry. When they face an obstacle, they feel discouraged. This loop repeats every day, gradually becoming an automatic pattern. But what if you could break free from this way of living? What if you could train your mind to be so steadfast that it remains unshaken, no matter what happens around you? The truth is, you absolutely can. Emotions are not things that happen to you. They are learned responses, programmed over time. From the time you were a child, you observed how those around you reacted to situations, and your subconscious mind stored and copied those patterns. If you saw people panic when things didn't go as planned, your mind learned to associate failure with stress. If you grew up around people who responded to challenges with anger or frustration, your brain came to see that as a normal reaction. But these patterns are not who you are. They are learned behaviors that you have the power to unlearn. The first step to freeing yourself from automatic emotional reactions is to realize that you have a choice in how you respond. When a situation arises that would have previously made you angry or stressed, just pause for a moment. Observe your initial reaction without acting on it. This moment of pause opens up a new space, a space where you can choose a different path. A choice for calm. A choice to master yourself instead of being ruled by emotion. With each practice, you gradually break out of the invisible cage of old reactions and step into a state of freedom, strength, and clarity you've never known before. Most people react impulsively, almost without thinking, because their unconscious programming has completely taken over. But the moment you become aware of your reaction, you create a precious space between the trigger and the response. It is in that space that you have the power to choose differently. Instead of letting old patterns dictate your emotions, you can make a conscious decision to remain calm, composed, and clear-headed. One of the most effective ways to break free from emotional reactivity is to learn the art of detachment. Detachment doesn't mean you become indifferent or uncaring. It means you learn to observe any situation without letting it dominate your mind. When you detach, you see events objectively, not distorted by the lens of your past or old beliefs. When something doesn't go as expected, instead of immediately reacting with frustration, you can take a step back, observe, and assess the situation with clarity. You start to ask yourself, is this situation worth my peace? Is my reaction helping or harming me? That shift in perspective puts you back in the driver's seat. Another powerful tool for breaking emotional reactivity is mindfulness. When you are fully present in the current moment, your mind is no longer lost in regrets about the past or anxieties about the future. Most emotional reactions stem from past programming or fears of what's to come. But when you train yourself to stay in the now, you gradually weaken the power of those old patterns. The next time an emotion starts to rise, bring your attention to your breath. Feel your feet on the ground. Listen to the sounds around you and remind yourself that in this very moment, you are in control of yourself. Self-awareness is also critically important. The more you understand yourself, the easier it is to regulate your emotions. Pay attention to your triggers. What situations make you most prone to anger or sadness? What words or actions from others tend to provoke a strong reaction in you? Once you've identified these factors, you can begin to remap your response. Instead of reacting in the old way, you can train yourself to stay calm, choose a different thought, or simply take a deep breath before you respond. Over time and with repetition, these new responses will become your new default, completely replacing the old habits. Another key element in escaping the cycle of emotional reaction is to let go of the need for control. Many people become easily agitated because they want to control everything around them. They want others to behave a certain way, they want events to go according to plan, and they want life to always be orderly and perfect. But the truth is, you cannot control everything that happens externally. The only thing you can truly control is yourself. When you accept this, you free yourself from the unnecessary pressure that comes from trying to force the world to meet your expectations. Instead of reacting negatively to things beyond your control, you learn to shift your focus inward, mastering your own mind and emotions. That is the path to stepping out of the victim of circumstance mindset and becoming the leader of your own life, with true stability and peace. Your energy is incredibly precious, and every time you react impulsively to something negative, you are inadvertently giving away your power. Just imagine how much mental clarity, how much emotional strength you would have if you no longer let petty things disrupt your inner peace. Imagine how empowered you would feel if you no longer reacted negatively on autopilot, but instead responded with calm, intention, and skill in every action. This state of mastery is entirely achievable, but it requires daily practice. It requires the discipline to observe yourself, to question your own reactions, and to make a conscious decision about how you want to respond. Your emotions should be tools that serve you, not masters that control you. The moment you stop allowing external circumstances to dictate your internal state is the moment you become truly free. You are no longer a slave to your emotions, you become the conductor of your mind. Instead of being dragged along by challenges, you stand firm, unshakable, and in control. The more you practice responding instead of reacting, the stronger you become. This is the mindset shift that clearly separates those who are always swept away by life from those who can navigate their journey with peace, clarity, and resilience. Your mind is constantly being shaped by the thoughts you cultivate every day. You are either reinforcing patterns of inner peace or cementing habits of worry and stress. Many people believe that emotions are simply reactions to the outside world, but in reality, they are deeply influenced by the internal dialogue that runs silently behind your thoughts. The way you talk to yourself, the stories you repeat, and the thoughts you allow to take root all play a massive role in shaping your emotional stability. If you constantly feed your mind with worry, fear, and negative self-talk, then stress and frustration will become your default state. But if you consciously shift your internal dialogue, you can absolutely reprogram your brain to maintain calm in any situation. Your thoughts are the architects of your emotional reality. If you keep repeating in your head that a situation is too stressful, that you can't handle the pressure, or that others are testing your patience, your body will respond accordingly. Your heart rate increases, your muscles tense, and your mind gets caught in a spiral of frustration or anger. Conversely, if you train yourself to see challenges differently, you will begin to change your emotional response. Instead of thinking, "This situation is too much for me," you can tell yourself, "This is an opportunity for me to practice my calm." Instead of thinking, "This person is making me angry," you can reframe it as, "I refuse to give my peace away to anyone." The more you practice changing your thoughts, the more you gain control over your emotional state. When you do that, you're not just mastering your thoughts, you are truly mastering your life. Your unconscious mind is always listening, always absorbing the thoughts and beliefs you nurture the most. If you've spent years reinforcing patterns of frustration, anxiety, or self-doubt, your mind will continue down those familiar paths, unless you consciously intervene. One of the most powerful ways to reprogram the mind is through repetition. The thoughts you repeat most often become the strongest neural pathways in your brain. That means every time you catch yourself falling into a negative loop and decide to replace it with a more positive thought, you are literally redesigning your brain, preparing it for a different response. Gradually, the things that used to trigger you will lose their power because your mind has been conditioned to stand firm instead of reacting automatically. Another critical factor in mastering your internal dialogue is being aware of the language you use. The words you say to yourself hold immense power. Many people unconsciously keep themselves trapped in negative emotional cycles simply because of their vocabulary. Phrases like, "I can't take this anymore," "Bad things always happen to me," or "I'm just unlucky," only reinforce a mindset of helplessness. Instead, shifting to supportive affirmations like, "I am in control of my reactions," "I can handle anything with calm," or "I choose peace over stress," will gradually form a new internal reality. Every time you speak positively about your ability to remain calm, you are reprogramming your subconscious to align with that new belief. Visualization is also a powerful tool for transforming how your mind responds to challenges. The brain doesn't differentiate between a real experience and one that is imagined with strong emotion. This means if you frequently visualize yourself handling difficult situations with calm and confidence, your brain will begin to accept that as reality. When you mentally rehearse your ideal response to pressure, you are training your brain to default to that response when you face the real situation. Instead of panicking or getting frustrated, your brain will recall the state of calm you've practiced, making it easier for you to maintain control in the actual moment. Practicing meditation and mindfulness also plays a pivotal role in reshaping your internal dialogue. When you take the time to sit quietly, observe the stream of your thoughts, and detach yourself from the noise in your head, you develop a new level of awareness. You begin to realize that your thoughts are not who you are. They are just patterns that have been repeated over time. With regular practice, you create a distance between yourself and your thoughts, which gives you the power to choose which ones to keep and which ones to let go of. Instead of getting caught in a vortex of worry, you learn to bring your attention back to the present moment. It is this return that helps you break free from the habit of mechanical reaction, making you the director and creator of your emotional reality instead of being pulled and manipulated by it every second. Gratitude is another powerful tool that can instantly change your internal dialogue. The human brain has a natural tendency to focus on problems, a negativity bias that seeks out what's wrong or missing as a means of self-preservation. However, when you make gratitude a daily habit, you are retraining your mind to see what's going right, instead of fixating on what isn't. When faced with a challenge, instead of dwelling in frustration, shift your attention to gratitude. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Or, how is this situation helping me become stronger? This small shift in perspective has the power to restructure your brain, helping you approach life with calm and confidence instead of stress and negative reactivity. Your internal dialogue is the key factor that determines whether you maintain your calm in all situations or let yourself be swept away by external circumstances. The thoughts you choose to focus on will shape your emotional state and, over time, create your default reactions. If you truly want to master your mind and remain steadfast under pressure, you must take control of the way you talk to yourself. Instead of being a victim of negative thoughts and unconscious reactions, you can absolutely train yourself to think in a way that nurtures inner peace and strength. Your nervous system plays a huge role in determining how you respond to stress, challenges, and unexpected situations. Many people think that staying calm is just a matter of willpower, but in reality, it is deeply connected to how your nervous system is wired. If your nervous system is constantly in a state of fight or flight, even the smallest inconveniences can feel overwhelming. The body responds by increasing your heart rate, your breath becomes shallow and rapid, and your muscles tense up, making it difficult to think clearly. Conversely, when your nervous system is balanced and regulated, you approach challenges with clarity, resilience, and proactivity. Training your nervous system to maintain calm doesn't happen overnight. But with persistence, you can rewire your body's automatic responses and develop a sense of stability in any situation. One of the most powerful ways to regulate your nervous system is by controlling your breath. Your breath is directly linked to your nervous system, and how you breathe directly influences your emotional and physiological state. When you're stressed, your breathing becomes rapid and shallow, signaling to your brain that you're in danger. Conversely, when you breathe slowly and deeply, you activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which helps the body relax and the mind to calm down. Practicing slow, controlled breathing techniques, for example, inhaling deeply through the nose for 4 seconds, holding for a few seconds, and exhaling slowly through the mouth, sends a signal to your brain that you are safe. The more you practice controlled breathing during stressful moments, the more resilient and flexible your nervous system will become. Cold exposure is also an effective method for training your nervous system's ability to handle stress. When you expose yourself to cold water, such as taking a cold shower or dunking your face in ice water, your body initially reacts with a jolt, activating the stress response. However, when you consciously regulate your breath and relax your body into that discomfort, you are teaching your nervous system to adapt instead of panic. Over time, this practice builds your resilience, helping you stay calm even in the most high-pressure situations. It's these subtle exercises, from how you talk to yourself, to practicing your breath, to mastering your physiological responses, that will help you cease to be a victim of circumstance and instead become the one who holds the key to your inner world, steadfast amidst all of life's changes. Athletes, military personnel, and high performers in demanding environments all use cold exposure to train their mental resilience and emotional control, proving that the nervous system can indeed be trained to face adversity with composure. In addition, physical exercise plays a crucial role in balancing the nervous system. When stress accumulates in the body, it often manifests as muscle tightness, headaches, or a feeling of restlessness. Maintaining regular physical activity, whether it's walking, stretching, yoga, or strength training, helps release stored tension and regulates stress-related hormones. Exercise not only strengthens your body but also conditions your nervous system to process and release stress instead of holding on to it. The more regularly you are active, the more flexible your nervous system becomes, helping you face pressure with greater ease and proactivity. Sleep and rest are also essential for maintaining a stable and healthy nervous system. When you're sleep deprived, your body becomes more sensitive to stress, and even small challenges can easily feel overwhelming. Poor quality sleep disrupts the balance of stress hormones, making it difficult to maintain calm and focus. Prioritizing high-quality sleep by maintaining a regular sleep schedule, reducing screen time before bed, and creating a peaceful resting environment will help your nervous system recover and re-establish balance. Rest isn't just about sleeping. It also includes allowing yourself to pause, practice relaxation techniques, and reminding yourself to slow down when needed. A well-rested nervous system is more resilient and ready to face challenges with equanimity and strength. Another highly effective way to train your nervous system is through controlled exposure to pressure. When you intentionally place yourself in challenging situations outside your comfort zone, you are gradually building your ability to stay calm under pressure. This could include public speaking, intermittent fasting, participating in high-intensity workouts, or simply learning to be patient in frustrating situations. Every time you face controlled stress and focus on maintaining your calm, you are strengthening your nervous system's ability to self-regulate. The key is to approach these challenges with awareness and intention, rather than letting them overwhelm you. Over time, the things that used to trigger a stress response will gradually lose their influence because your nervous system will have adapted and become more robust. Your diet also plays a critical role in regulating your nervous system. What you eat directly affects your brain chemistry, hormone levels, and ability to cope with stress. A diet high in processed foods, sugar, and caffeine can overstimulate the nervous system, leading to anxiety and overreactions. Conversely, a diet rich in whole foods, healthy fats, and essential nutrients supports a balanced nervous system. For instance, magnesium is known for its ability to help the body relax and reduce stress, while omega-3 fatty acids support brain health and emotional stability. When you nourish your body with the right foods, you are creating an internal environment that fosters calmness and resilience. Your nervous system is like a muscle that can be trained and strengthened over time. The more you engage in practices and habits that help regulate it, the more flexible and adaptive it will become in the face of challenges. Instead of reacting impulsively to stress, you will gradually develop the ability to pause, assess the situation, and choose a response that is aligned with inner peace and stability. When you learn to master your mind, train yourself for calm, and build a resilient nervous system, you not only find inner freedom but also open the door to a stronger, more confident, and more serene version of yourself. The external world will always have its challenges. But when you control your inner world, all the storms outside become mere opportunities to grow and to shine. If today's message resonated with you and gave you the motivation for your journey of change, please hit the like button below this video. Comment, "I am ready," as a powerful commitment to yourself. Share this to spread the positive energy. Subscribe to the Power of the Subconscious channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss our latest content. May you always remain steadfast, find your peace, and become the greatest version of yourself.